Alright guys, welcome back. We've got Tales of Two Kings Part 2. So if we go into 7.4.6 with our rank 5 ascended, you don't have to be ascended, but ascended Stark Enhanced Spider-Man, that's all you can use. I chose this path here, the Power Technician path. I didn't even play it that great because really with Power Technician, the issue on this node is they're going to be unblockable unless you have an armor up. In order to get an armor up, you have to parry them. In order to be able to parry them, you need to get, you have to be able to block unblockable, and which means you need to build up attack like a 5-hit combo. Every 5 hits you're going to get like a steadfast, I believe it is, and then you're able to block unblockable, so you'll be able to parry. So at the beginning, a lot of these fights, it's just a bit of hitting into block and building up a special, or intercepting until you can or beta heavy like that, and then you get your opening. The issue also is every time they throw a special, they are also going to armor break you. So on the one hand, when right now, in theory, I can parry. The other thing that you can do is when you parry, you're also going to power drain them a little bit. So there is the bet, and you get a fury if you parry as well. For the most part, though, because I was just worried about specials here. Once I got into a rotation, depending on the champ that I'm facing, for the most part, I just do a usual bait. Once I get going, I'm just baiting specials and attacking in. So like here, it's really nothing too crazy against Mr. Sinister. Now again, I have those steadfast buffs, so I could parry at any point, but I'm also just trying to bait specials here. Probably parrying would have been a better idea because I would have gotten the fury and I would have power drained him a bit, but at the same time I was just kind of focused on the fight here. I wanted to make sure he was pretty low on power if I was going to throw a special 2, because I didn't want the shocks to be put back on me. So that is pretty much what I did. The only fight that was a little tricky on this path was the Havoc fight, because again, you want to have the armor up active, and I'm not super great at reparries, but I think I died once to Havoc and just revived and healed up. But I'm just going to let the music play out. You can watch the path fight in its entirety if you'd like, and then when we get to the boss, I will break that down for you. All right, see you there. Alright guys, you can see I did die the one time on Havoc, but now we get to the boss. Make sure you do the skip choice node. Now this Kang boss, we are going to have to basically beat 4 different times. The way you do it is to wound him. You need to get 10 slipstream charges. In order to get the slipstream charges, you have the 4 things you need to do are either intercept, parry, beta heavy, or special. Each time you do that, when you attack in after a parry, he's going to counterattack. You have to quickly evade backwards. If you bait a heavy attack and you attack in, quickly evade backwards. Countering a special, quickly evade backwards. Or if you intercept, quickly evade backwards. And every time you do that, you're going to get a charge. Those charges will persist. So if you build up 9 charges and you're 1 away from wounding him and you die, then you enter the fight, you will be at 9 charges. You will not have to build 10 charges every single time you jump into the fight. So we're going to go in and try to do our best to knock him down. To wound him and get as much damage in as possible. So you're going to see here, I go ahead, I didn't need to heavy attack there, but I bait a heavy and then I counter. Like I dash back after his counterattack. Same thing there. And in the first phase, all you have to do is don't do the same thing 2 times in a row. So if you bait a special, don't bait the special again, or else you're going to get stunned and he's going to smack you in the face. If you parry and do the counter, like if you parry but you didn't do anything, you're fine. But if you parry and you attack in, then you cannot do that again. So in this first 2 phases, you want to just rotate. As long as, I'll try and do just parry, then bait heavy and specials. Those are the main ones. I'm not great at throwing in the intercept. And there, once we got 10 charges, I can attack into him. He's wounded, and I want to get as much damage in as possible. I think, obviously, in one of the damage phases, I think it's in the 2nd and the 4th, the damage over time from the shocks are going to give you bonus damage. Normally you would want lots of buffs on you. That's why normally you would bring in an Odin to get pre-fights, but here it's fine. We still got almost half of his health down in 1 wounded phase, and we're just going to continue to do the same thing. Now, if you do it perfectly, then that's great. If you die and you have to start again, it's not the end of the world. I think I end up using 4 revives maybe on this king, because sometimes you're going to make mistakes. Mistakes happen. And when you get him down a full, his health bar down to 0, he is going to reset the fight and you're going to go again. So the first phase is going to be this here, where it's, again, the first 2 phases, it's only going to be, you have to rotate between 1 of the tasks of the 4. In the phase 3 and 4, you're going to have to make sure you're keeping track of, if there are 2 tasks that you've done, you cannot repeat either of those 2 tasks. So you have to be at least a little bit proficient at 3 of them, or else you're kind of stuck. So you have to rotate, in the 3rd phase, you're going to have to rotate between, I'll do a parry, then I'll do a heavy, then I'll bait a special. And then I can go back to parry. And you have to kind of take a look at the symbols there. That little fire symbol there, that's a special. If it's the swirl, that's the stun. If it's the fist, that is the heavy attack. And that's the main thing that you want to focus on. You can see here, I've gone through now the entire thing twice, and he's still not dead yet. So I'm just trying my best, and the special is 3 beams, he goes in the air. I'm counting to myself for the most part, 1, 2, 3, and then I attack in. I actually did try to voice over this clip, and the voiceover is not working during my editing, so I kind of lost it. So, but for the most part, this isn't too bad. I'm gonna let the full fight play out until we get to phase 3, and then I'll talk a little bit about phase 3. And then so I'll see you there. All right, now we're into phase 3. You can see there are 2 of those gray circles at the top. Each time I do a task, there's a heavy, so that's the fist. Then I go ahead and I got the intercept there, so that's another like symbol there. Now he's going to throw the special, and it's either, so now I have parry available, so I can parry and I can go in. I can't bait a special, so I have to, or parry, so now I have to do a heavy attack. So I bait the heavy attack and I counter. Now I have special available, so I can go and do that. And it's a matter of getting into a rotation. I talk to myself when I'm doing the fight all the time. Keeping an eye on those symbols helps me as well. Also, talking it out reminds me which ones have I done. And there I got clipped by a special attack and I blew it. So there, like, but again, I die, but whatever charges I did build up, I keep them. So I can revive, heal up a little bit, go back in and continue the fight. But again, it's just a little difficult keeping tabs of what you've done and what's available. So it's like this, when I do a parry, I can't do it till I do at least 2 more tasks, and then I can go back to the parry. And the only other thing that's going to change is at a certain point, he kind of does, you might see on his side fast or slow in terms of, or regular speed, slow motion or fast, and you just have to go a little quicker or slower when he's shooting his special at you or when he's countering you. And it's a little bit of a feel for it there. I've done this fight a bunch of times between 2 accounts, so it's I've gotten a little bit more used to it, but it's still something that you kind of get a feel for. And the longer you play the fight in phases 3 and 4, the more they try and mess with you on timing. So that's the only other thing that you need to worry about there. You can see there that was in slow motion there at the end, but again, slow motion, or it's going to be fast, so it goes slow and then you quickly dash back. There's a little bit of getting used to there, but once you do it, you should be fine. So I'm going to let the rest of the music play out. If there's any other questions that you have, put it in the comments below and I'll gladly read it and respond. So I hope that helps, and then you can see that we did manage to finish this challenge here. All right, hope that helped, guys. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.